So we got a candle here. We're making the studio smell a little better. I think that smell made my hair flat. So we're thinking of more delicious and savory things like the paleo way of eating. It's really popular with a lot of folks with food allergies, but it can be very expensive because it uses a lot of meat. So a new cookbook called Frugal Paleo from Tacoma's Ciarra Colacino gives us some tips on this way of eating that won't break the bank.
Today we are going to make one of my favorite recipes from the Frugal Paleo cookbook. It's called chorizo and chicken stew.
Ooh, I love it. All right, so let's get started. What goes in it?
Okay, so to get us going, we've got ground chorizo, onion, garlic, exactly what you would expect. And those have browned nicely. To that, we're going to add our seasoning so it has a chance to bloom. And with that, we've got our Adobo Seasoning. It's one of 16 5-ingredient or less blends that you get with the book, which I love, and it really empowers home cooks to make every kind of meal their own.
Yes.
We're going to add that. And then I like to use coarse sea salt. We've got 2 teaspoons of that, half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper for some heat, of course. And we'll give that a stir and give it a chance to all meld together while we turn our attention to the other ingredients here, which are going to be our sweet potatoes. These are white sweet potatoes, not yam. And then we're using fresh tomatoes today, which is kind of fun if you want to make this in the summer. It's a great way to use. It takes about 5 regular tomatoes to do this, so just keep that in mind.
And they cook down and they become nice and flavorful, right?
They do. They do.
So once you've got all the veggies chopped up, you got our sweet potato, we got our tomato. Where do we add that?
We're going right into the ground chorizo with both. And you'll see by cooking it this way, where we're layering flavors and kind of taking it in steps, it keeps us all in one pot. And I know that washing a bunch of dishes at the end of the day is about the last thing on my mind. So I'm like,
every day I walk in the kitchen and I'm like, how are this many dishes? I didn't even eat at home today.
Reach this, I know, I'm with you. Okay, we get a good blend. Everything's nice and neat in there. And then we're gonna add our chicken stock. I've got 5 cups here.
Biggest measuring cup I've ever seen.
Isn't it great? I actually have one larger. And it's already looking like a stew, which is awesome. In fact, if you didn't want to take the next step, you don't have to, but we're going to do it because we can. We've got 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, nothing fancy about them. And we're going to put these directly into the broth.
You're just going to put them in there?
We're just going to put it in.
All right.
And this allows the chicken to poach in the already spicy, fatty, flavorful broth. So it takes on all of the flavors of the stew, and you don't have to have any extra seasonings on it. So we save a lot of, extra legwork there and kind of maintain simplicity with the recipe, which of course is important.
So this meal is totally paleo, right? And for those who don't know, what is paleo?
Well, there are 2 different ways that people approach it. I think a lot of people have that familiarity of like the caveman approach or approaching it from like an ancestral point of view. Sure. For me, it was more a matter of health. And so the benefits that people can experience from paleo diet would be an improvement on digestive health, reducing overall inflammation, which affects a lot of people who have different illnesses. And then, of course, it supports balanced hormones.
And it's just meat and potatoes, right? I mean, it's like no fats.
It gets a little bit monkey, right? And really the best way to apply paleo is in a template approach. And that template starts out with good quality protein, fruits, vegetables, tubers are included in vegetables, so potatoes are okay. We do eggs, seafood, nuts, and healthy fats, of course.
Healthy fats, okay.
And so when you kind of put all your attention on what you can eat and what you are able to really kind of build traditional meals out of, that you're already eating anyway. And you're just not adding the things like the extra cheese, or you're not throwing really great crusty bread.
It's hard without the crusty bread.
Yeah.
After you sit that for a while, I know you have a finished product there. We're about out of time. Show us what you do with the finished product, and then tell us what other recipes you can find in your cookbook.
Okay, so for serving this, we're going to pull the chicken breasts out and shred them first.
Makes sense.
Shred 2 forks, super easy. Pop them back in the soup, and the sweet potatoes break down a little bit to kind of give it somewhat of a chowder feel, which is fantastic. We load that up. We put some of our favorites like sliced avocado.
Oh,
Put some cilantro. My family, we like to go a little spicy, so we'll add some jalapeno, radishes, and we'll finish it off with a lime.
let me see it. Oh, that is beautiful, Ciarra.
And if you're serving for, you know, a meal to people who aren't necessarily keeping a paleo profile, put cheese on it. You're serving with tortilla chips, you know.
Yeah, no one will know the difference.
And you can head over to New Day's website right now to check out the recipe for chicken and chorizo stew.